Tom Maher to talk about all things Virginia UFO sightings from MUFON. Set to go next.
Break's over. Let's get back.
Back to the KQ Morning Show with Jason Manning and Scott Savage.
I got a pit. I don't think so. We're busy now.
You're what?
Yeah. Eating ice cream. Ice cream? Now, you're welcome. Come on and get one, but I don't believe NASCAR would think much of you trying to eat an ice cream cone out there. You have enough trouble riding around the track as it is.
95 KQDS.
It is 8:45 at Classic Rock KQ. Sports coming up in a few moments. Be listening for the wild card tones for the Secret Sound. $1,570 up for grabs. We have Today in Rock History to get to. I Was Poisoned about an hour from now. Just a couple more moments with little Hunter over here.
Hi.
Joining us on the KQ hotline, the director of the Minnesota chapter of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. It's Tom Maher for his monthly appearance. Hey, Tom.
How you doing?
We're living the dream is what we're doing. How are you? What do you know? What do you know about that alien corpse in Mexico that's been making the rounds?
Alien? Yeah. I need to do a little more looking on the alien corpse. But looking at the picture, it struck me, and this is just, it struck me as almost like a Yoda kissy face is what I was seeing. But I need to do a little more research on that myself. It's definitely interesting, though. Not surprising, but interesting. So
yeah, I mean that was like the government that rolled that out. I think that's what I'd read, because the lawmakers down in Mexico were hearing testimony on the possible existence of extraterrestrials. So it's just not our government that's becoming more transparent, and I use transparent with little quoties, mind you, but. I don't know. It just seems like we're kind of being spoon-fed these bits of information little by little. One, either they're trying to distract us from something, or two, they're afraid we couldn't take the whole platter at one time.
And that could be, but the thing is, when you get right down to it, when you come to Mexico has always been way ahead of us on having it in the media and in the news and showing information there. So we're more like trailing them than them trailing us, because they've been very open about having stuff. And Jaime Maussan is a very well-known news reporter down there. He's been big on the UFO story for a long time. So to them, it's not so new, because more of what they've been doing for years, it's just more new to us. So it's a little more unusual for us up here.
About 2 months ago, I think it was, right around there, I'd mentioned to you, I heard rumblings of a UFO sighting or some sort of phenomenon in our backyard in Virginia, Minnesota. You had not heard about that yet, but then lo and behold, last week you sent me a text that said, guess what's in our database? And I know you wanted to touch on that a little bit today.
Yeah, I did, because I checked the database. There's actually 2 cases from Virginia. One's about 10 years old, so I'm guessing it's not that one. But the other one that came in recently took place on August 23rd at 10:04 p.m. And as I was thinking about that, if we got a case that was reported on August 23rd at 10:04 p.m., it makes me wonder, was the rumblings about that, or was there another situation, or was there another incident? Or I'm kind of going, are there more witnesses that could it would benefit us if they were to report their sightings? So, if you know that you saw it and it was not on the 23rd, MUFON would love to have a report. Or if you did see it and it was on the 23rd, the more independent witnesses we have reporting the same thing, that all adds credibility and legitimacy to the case.
So what was the case? What went down?
Yeah, so we assigned it case number 133472-U, and I said it was August 23rd at 10:04 p.m. An oval was seen. So we put a valet classification on this as an FB1. Do we want to talk about valet classifications at all, or no?
If you want to just give us the layman's version of it, yeah.
Sure. A real quick history. So this actually goes back to the Air Force's Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was investigating UFOs for the government, and they took on a civilian investigator named J. Allen Hynek to kind of legitimize the whole project. And he had a mentee named Jacques Vallée. Well, as a scientist, as you gather data, you have to start categorizing it in different ways to examine what you've got. And they came up with 4 different classifications. They came up with flybys, anomalies, close encounters, and maneuvers. And of course, everyone's heard of the Valet classification, Close Encounter of the Third Kind. That movie is named after Valet classification. So this classification for this case was an FB1, so that stands for a flyby of the first kind. And basically, a flyby of the first kind is defined as either light or object just seen flying by in the sky. Nothing, no maneuvers, no trajectory, no landing. And it's the most common case we get are flybys the first time. So the witness actually wrote in their short description, they wrote, witnessed a large orange ball-type object going straight across the sky on upward strange trajectory, then vanished. Saw a UFO with a big orange ball with no tail and far away, but didn't move really fast. I'm posting a video, and we do have the video. It's hard to see filming through my window. I went outside after and asked two people that were sitting outside smoking and asked them. They saw it too. And I've seen the video. Like a lot of UFO videos we have, there's not a lot to it. Of course, this is 10:04 p.m., so it's at night. It's dark. You can kind of see like city lights and stuff in the background. And there's some lights reflecting off his window, but you do see a small orange ball, and it kind of moves toward the horizon and fades out. Just not very impressive, but a lot of times our videos aren't very impressive. So, and our field investigator did check this one. He's coding it as what we call a unknown UAV or an unknown aerial vehicle. So he writes, after watching the video a few times, I noticed a faint flashing coming from the object. That would most likely rule out any type of Chinese lantern. And when I watch it too, it's moving too fast, too straight line. It's not going up. I'd say definitely not a Chinese lantern either. The witness claimed that he was in the military and claimed that what he saw was definitely not a plane or helicopter. I'm going to classify this as an unknown UAV based on the witness testimony, even though there's a slight possibility that's related to the airport that is located 5 miles to the south. So we can't say conclusively what it is, but it is an unknown aerial vehicle. Could it be an extraterrestrial craft? Possibly. Could it be something of ours? That's a possibility too. Basically, we just don't know. So I'm kind of curious because there was rumblings about it. Based on the video, there's not a lot to the video, so I'm wondering what caused the rumblings. It sounds like there might be something a little more interesting, a little more juicy that's being talked about up there. Do you happen to know?
Do not, but we'll open up our text line, 84454, because we have a lot of nice people that listen to us in Virginia. And if you witness something on that date of August 23rd, feel free to text in. We'd like to get your point of view on that. How many witnesses did you just have this one account, or were there multiple people that talked about this thing?
Let's see. So this person obviously the actual witness, he said two people outside saw it. Let's see if he listed anybody else in the actual. So I'm looking at our database right now, so I can get to that screen. So it's definitely him and two people outside. But we're always looking for more people, more witnesses, especially if they don't know each other. I mean, that's always a positive thing. We got people reporting the same thing, and they're totally not related, not connected in any way. It looks like he was the sole witness of his event. I guess he didn't count the two people that were sitting outside smoking. So, So, all right, we're open to more cases, and that's the funny. Go ahead.
Oh, I said no. Go ahead and finish your thought.
That's the funny thing too, because this, I said August 23rd of this year. It's not unusual. We could get this exact same case and date and everything reported in 5 years or 10 years from now. So sometimes, our reports come in, they don't report them right away. Sometimes it's a long time before they report them. But, it'd be interesting if we got more reports on this actual incident. Or, if people are in Virginia and they saw stuff on other days, that'd be interesting too, because that would be kind of a pattern that there's some sort of activity or something happening up there. So if you're in Virginia going, no, I saw something, but it wasn't on the 23rd, it was on the 27th or the 20th, and I know it was, that's useful information too to show that there's something happening up there that's deserves investigating.
Somebody texted and said, I've seen that before. I thought it was the afterburner of a fighter jet. And somebody else texted in. It says, has Tom heard of the UFO over Lake Superior around 3 a.m.? My friend spoke with them. I think he means he spoke with MUFON. Doesn't say what date. It just says around 3 a.m. Have you had any reports of anything over Lake Superior as of late?
There's one because Lake Superior is there's so much mystery and myth around Lake Superior. I do recall seeing a case that came in within the past year, but the actual sighting happened 20 or 30 years ago, I think in the 70s. And the couple that reported it didn't report it right away because I think the husband was like a prominent teacher at a college, professor at a college, and the wife was like a kind of prominent in the sheriff's department. So they both were concerned about the reputations of their jobs. So they just kept a lid on it. And until just recently, they reported it to us, and they said it was huge black triangle. If I'm recalling the same incident, huge black triangle that flew overhead in the area of Lake Superior. But lots of stuff with Lake Superior that's unusual. So I don't know if that's the same case, but that is one case about Lake Superior.
Tom, if people want to find out more about MUFON, how do they do so? Yeah,
you can go to www.mufon.org. And we've got our own website, which we're updating. I promise we're updating. It's www.mn for Minnesota, mnmufon.com. So the global is MUFON. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. MUFON.com is the global one. The local Minnesota one is mnmufon.org. So global is MUFON.com. We're mnmufon.org.
All right.
And, of course, they can always send me an email, too. My email is MUFONTom, so MUFON Tom, at epcoachtom.com. So EP, like Endless Possibilities, coachtom.com.
All right, excellent, sir. Tom, we'll chat with you here in a few weeks, okay?
That sounds good.
All right, thanks, buddy. There he goes. That's Tom Maher with MUFON.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I've seen something similar to that, and it wasn't all that long ago. I talked about it, so I don't care. People, they think I'm a crackpot. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I saw something. I've seen a couple things over Highway 4, and the one I saw, these orange balls appeared in a sequence, and somebody said they were some sort of flare from the 148 that they were firing up there.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's probably what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't know what it is and you see that, you're just like, what in the world am I looking at?
First time I saw that, I was skating on my skating rink or whatever, just the lake. We were like 10 years old, and we were so freaked out when we saw those lights going off because it's, pitch black out in the woods. We ran inside, we were crying and stuff, and then they told us, it's probably the flares that the guys are practicing with. So,
but I will, excuse me, I will say this. My wife and I have had a couple of evenings in the hot tub, and it's always fall or winter because we're just not in there in the summer. And you get those, it's something about winter nights, they're just even more clear.
Yeah.
And when you stare at the stars, when there aren't any lights, you see some things.
Mm-hmm.
You see some things moving around. I know there's satellites and all that. But I've watched things make turns that shouldn't make turns the way that they do. Oh. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And she has seen them too. And I know, well, how much have you been smoking? How many beers you had? You have a couple beers, but you're not seeing things.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
But, it's, I believe there's something out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we'll ever find out for sure in our lifetime, but it is intriguing. At least it is to me.
Sure is. Good to talk about.
You out of here?
I think I am.
All right. I will
see you tomorrow, buddy.
Let's see you tomorrow. I'll see you and I'll hear you tomorrow.
Correct, young man.
Sounds good.
All right. Love you, buddy.
Love you too. Bye.
Hunter McCullough out. 8:56 Sports Up in a few at KQ.